had to lose 20 pounds again, like I did from April to end of June, this is exactly what I would do. No, it's not your usual, just eat less, literally starve yourself, and move more, and less cardio every single day. No, we are not about that here. And I know you're skeptical because like, well, it worked for you, but might not work for me. It worked for me. It worked for her. I could keep on going. It works for every single one of my clients, regardless of their level of activity, their history of diet, their age, the time they had, everything. And I'm gonna tell you why in a second. I feel like most women don't know about this, or don't apply it, or disregard it, or don't want to know that it exists. So it's time for me to bring that to you. I don't know if you know, but there is a way to lose the weight without making yourself miserable, without spending hours doing cardio every single day, without starving yourself, saying goodbye to your social life and your favorite food, and of course, without getting it back. First, let me tell you a little bit about why I made this video, because I was just talking to a client of mine who's seen amazing results, and we're only 3 months in, 4 now. We still have a little bit, like 2 to 3 months together to do, and we were basically talking about why she got in the program in the first place. She came from Lisa. I did an interview with her. Basically, both are solo moms, both are entrepreneurs in their 40s, very busy, premenopausal, so much to do, not a lot of time on their hands. And they basically came to me because they were like, I know that I don't know what I don't know, and that if it's someone's job to lose weight and help you lose weight, that means that it's okay if I'm not qualified, so let me have that help. Back to Lisa, she came to me wanting to lose roughly 15 pounds, and then we got there really quickly because she was such a type A student, and she was like, do you think we can go a little bit lower? So we went a little bit lower. We've worked together last year, and we've stayed in touch, and I know that she has not gained the weight back, and that's one of my current clients. She said, like, the reason why I came to you is because I knew that she'd worked with you, and she has so much energy. She is showing so differently in her work and in her relationships with her kids. I just figured I need that for myself too. And she literally said it was easy, by the way. Like, watch the video, the interview. She said it was so easy to lose the weight. I know that this is what you want. You don't want it to take a lot of time. You don't want it to be hard. If a solo mom, also entrepreneur, says that it's easy, I'm sorry, it's easy, it didn't take time. Anyways, the point is, the major thing that we did was make the process, my process, fit into her lifestyle. And we didn't overhaul everything at once, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. We didn't enforce a plan that she was going to hate, and we basically build habits that she could keep on forever, so she doesn't gain the weight back. Because that's what I keep telling you, your current body is a result of your habits that you've had for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. And if you go back to your past lifestyle, once you've lost the weight with me, you will go back to your past body before you worked with me. Or any trainer, by the way. This is not what I want. This is why I teach the way I teach. I'm such a strong believer that once you understand why you're doing what you're doing, you're so much more likely to do it during the program, and then understand why it's so important to keep on doing it after. Obviously, I didn't leave her with the same plan from the fat loss phase to the maintenance. We worked on, okay, how can we make this a lifestyle now? What should you keep on doing way beyond the program? And she's been doing it, like, she's been great. Another thing that is really interesting, and this is back to that story while I made this video, because when you start taking care of yourself and your health and your body, it's just an upward spiral. You've got more energy, more focus, more self-confidence, and I know that that's an issue. Like, when you've failed so many times with your diet, you've lost so much confidence in yourself, and that's why you keep on failing, because you feel like, well, I'm gonna fail anyway, so you fail, and then you're like, well, told me so. But you also start showing differently at work, you start showing up differently in your relationships, studies, whatever you may do. You have a different way of approaching everything in your life, and it's just that upward spiral that starts from one thing. Funnily enough, you and how you treat yourself. Obviously, you stop hiding in baggy clothes, you stop hiding from pictures, you stop hiding from people in general. There's no cons to, for 3 to 6 months, or maybe 12, being a little bit more disciplined, because obviously change takes a little bit more discipline than maintaining the body that you get. There's no cons to that. Just no. Oh, and also this solo mom, so Lisa, she felt more confident at first. She was not dating, and then she started dating. Not only that, she started having like those big standards of like, you know what, I feel so good in my skin, I feel so sexy, like if that guy isn't gonna like me for like what I have to bring to the table, I will walk away because my self-esteem is not on the floor anymore. I feel good enough in myself that I'm just gonna be like, no, I'll find better. Thank you. But love that for her. Now, obviously, this process, as I said, not just for that one person. I've got, for example, Kathy. Again, I did an interview with her. She lost only 10 pounds, but the 10 pounds she lost with me are very different from the 10 pounds she lost on her own with starvation and endless cardio. Again, that's something she says in that interview. She's like, I kept my curves, I kept my energy, I like increased my focus and my performance, not only just, workout wise, but also in all other areas. And we got her ready for her wedding. And yeah, it was, again, she hit her weight goal and then we went a little bit lower and she had to say stop at some point. She was like, I'm tired of having to constantly tweak my wedding dress because I keep losing fat and not just weight, and that's what you want to lose. And the best part, again, she kept the weight off even after the wedding because she knew, or also she took pictures in a bikini on her honeymoon. Love that. Because she knows how to maintain it. I'm not just about losing weight because you can find that anywhere. What about once you've hit the weight? What do you do after? If you don't know, you're fucked. You're gonna gain the weight back. So that's also something I keep telling all of my clients before they join. Half of the program, how to lose weight. The other half, how to keep it off with ease so you don't gain the weight back. Because what's the worst thing ever? To do so many sacrifices and work so hard for like 3-6 months, maybe more, only to gain it back after. And like, I'm getting ahead of my script here. 80 to like 95% of the people who lose the weight are gonna gain it back if it's not done the right way. Oh, and also I have my retired couple and friends who I've worked with. We didn't do any before after pictures because they didn't feel like it, and I'm fine with it. She left me a testimonial though with me. I might add it at the end of the video so you can watch it. She is so cute. We're still in touch and she's just the cutest person ever. I really loved working with them. That was back when I was doing in-person personal training, and so we would work out together. It was just so much fun. And on top of that, I was teaching them a lot about nutrition and all of those, but they weren't as tech savvy, I would say, as the women I work with now. So I had to teach them portion control and nutrition and protein and all of those things, because basically you don't really, I prefer calorie counting, but you don't really need to do that once you know enough about nutrition. You can just like visualize it. And I made so many resources for them, specifically because I knew that they wouldn't go on MyFitnessPal and scan their meals, for example. Anyways, let's talk about the process. There is a repeating pattern here, which is I made my process fit every single one of my clients' lifestyle, meaning that the process was always a little bit different. Or a lot different. For example, someone in their 20s isn't going to do the same as the couple I had who were in their 60s. We didn't do the same thing, but it was the same process. It's the same foundation that we adapt. And here is the good news. Once I give you the plan, you don't even have to follow it perfectly. In fact, you won't. I keep saying you are going to fuck up on the journey. You are going to miss a workout. You're going to be over your calories. You're gonna, have a bad day at work and eat a little bit more, emotional eat. You're gonna do this, do that, you're gonna fuck up. But the good news is it's not the fuck up that's the issue, it's how you respond to it. Meaning that if you end up being like, you know what, fuck it, whatever, I'm just gonna throw the plan out the window and I'm just gonna binge all weekend and not do anything and just quit. No. So I tell all of my clients, not necessarily at first, but the moment they fuck up anyways, they tell me, and I think that's because I've been transparent enough on social. They'll watch my stories on Instagram. You should follow me, by the way. I share, I've done this wrong, or I'm not doing this right, or I've skipped a workout, or I've been struggling with that. The fact that I've been so open about it, I've noticed that the more open I am, the more they are open and going to come to me and be like, hey, I've had this issue like 20 minutes ago. What can I do? So the process for that is what happened and why did it happen? For example, maybe you felt so tired that you could not do your workout. Okay, why were you tired? Oh, well, because I scrolled till 1 a.m. on my phone and therefore didn't get the sleep I need. Okay, so the problem is the phone. If you want to avoid that in the future, let's figure out a good way to deal with the phone. Maybe leave it in another room, maybe just, setting a, whatever the word is, screen limit thing, something. And it's always about finding, okay, so this didn't work, let's tweak it so it works in the future. Or so we find something that works. The thing is, when you expect this to happen, the fuck up, the not sticking to the plan that I made for you, you detach yourself from it and you don't attach any meaning to it. You're like, oh no, I'm a failure. You know what I was talking about earlier. I've messed up. I might as well quit. No, you don't attach any meaning to it. You just learn from it and get right back on track. And what I keep telling you is the stop and stop and start and stop thing that you've been stuck in. Maybe, you know, every 1st of January, every before the summer, every back to school, right on time, right? You are going to start something, you fuck up, you quit. And you're gonna lose so much time because in that process of quitting, often you gain a bit more weight or you lose a bit more confidence in yourself and it gets even harder to start again. Whereas if you just say, oh no, it was normal, I was meant to fuck up, I was never going to have it perfect, so I can just carry on with my life, I guess. That mindset is the only thing that will like really differentiate someone who is going to yo-yo diet forever and someone who's going to lose the weight and keep it off. That's the way you, like, it's the all or nothing mentality. It's how you deal with what happens, knowing that nothing is ever perfect. You can't be. Sorry, that's not your job. Hold on, I'm out of breath. The thing is, I live at sea level and right now I'm in the US at like 6,000 feet up. Anyways, I'm gonna write it down. It's very high, so the elevation, even if I've been there for like a few weeks, I'm still struggling. So yeah, apparently you're supposed to eat more carbs, but I haven't really been doing that. Drink more water, and that's something I really don't drink in France, but I kinda like it. And yeah, my runs have been harder. For sure. I can do 5K, but I will stop because I get out of breath. I'm getting used to it. I'm almost excited to go back home to see how good I'm doing now at sea level. Anyways, I made a video about why you gain the weight back. 1, too restrictive. And basically everything I'm gonna say here, the mistakes that you made that make you either not lose the weight or gain the weight back, if you do the opposite, that's basically my process, right? So the first thing is being overly restrictive in terms of calories. If you are bound to snap and want to eat the entire pantry. That's just how it goes. Second thing is, if you are in too big of a deficit, like I've just said, you're over restricting, might be created by also working out too much, which is going to burn you out and fuck up your metabolism and also make you hate the process. You're gonna gain the weight back because losing weight too quickly is gonna mess up your hormones, hunger, cortisol, your metabolism as well in terms of like how much calories you burn, and then it's going to be really, really difficult to stick to that or correct that, or it's going to take a while, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And that's something, for example, with this specific client, I love her. I've just caught up with her like a couple days ago and was like, hey, how is everything going? She was like, I've taken a break in terms of like weight loss, but I've just started again, and you know, I'm so much more confident now that we've worked together and even like took up running without me. That's how you know that my thing works, because I didn't tell her like start running. She started to run after the program. That's how you know that I'm good at what I do. I think I've been saying that for the past 3 or 4 videos now. My self-confidence somehow is skyrocketing. Anyways, point being, what was my point? Yeah, when she started working with me, she had been trying to lose weight, but she was really low calories, really high cardio. So I had to switch that up, and we did a reverse dieting phase. Basically, we up her calories a little bit to sort of heal her metabolism, at least like kickstart it again. And we added strength training as well, so she could also build some lean body mass and so on. And then once that was fixed, we finally were able to lose the weight. It took us a little bit of time, because if you don't really know how to heal from what you've done in an overly restrictive way, it takes a while to get back to maintenance, and then let's go back down. I think it's the third mistake now. You don't care about lifestyle, sleep and stress mainly, and just even making everything I'm telling you to do a lifestyle. I'm not saying you gotta track your calories forever, because that's the only unsustainable thing I make you do to make sure you are in a deficit. Not too big that it's overly restrictive, and not too little that you don't see any progress every single week. So that's the only unsustainable thing I make you do. After a while, I don't track my calories. After a while, you don't track anymore, because you've learned what you need. You just know enough about nutrition, right? But the rest of the time, you know, the exercise part, the eating healthy, the sleeping enough, those are things that I'm expecting you to do maybe a few tweaks, you know, later down the road for life, okay? You should still have some form of movement. Even at 60, you should still be eating healthy 80% of the time. You should still sleep enough. all the time. And the last thing is they don't really address emotional eating. I need to make a video like in depth about that. I have an entire lessons in my program, right? But I need to make a YouTube video about it so you guys know how to deal with emotional eating, because I know that this can be very much of an issue. Just overeating, emotional eating, binge eating. I kind of specialize in that because I've been there, but yeah. That's why I always say that I help women get their dream body without making their life a nightmare. That's why I say that all the time, because is it really a dream body if it is a nightmare to A, get there, B, maintain? No, I can answer for you. No. And honestly, once you focus on what I've just given you here, it gets to be so much easy. And again, I know that what matters is easy. You want it to be easy, and that's normal. Because, you know, everyone's like looking for the weight loss pill or Ozempic and all of that. There's no magic pill that will make you lose the weight and not gain it back. You gotta have to put some effort into it, but the easier you make it to fit your lifestyle, the more, you know, you like what you're doing, you know the benefits. There's so much that goes on, and that's why you sometimes just need that extra support and guidance. Someone who's just gonna do the hand holding of, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what we need to focus on, and then once you get that, you know, again, we don't overhaul everything, we start slowly and then we build up. So you're basically a completely different person after the 3-6 months you've been with me, but that's a different person that you maintain. Literally, when I was on my own car, and you guys know because I've been very, you know, open about it, I started with a 15-minute walk because A, I was jet lagged, B, I was overweight, I had zero energy to do anything more than that. So I started with a 15-minute walk with my brother because I could not go on my own. I needed that accountability. And then it was 20, 25, 30. And then I started running again, and then I started weightlifting. I had zero energy. Like, it's kind of painful to watch the clips of me like weightlifting. I'm gonna add it here, I'm gonna hate it, because I had zero energy and I felt so bad. And then, you know, it was this upward spiral of I was better in my skin, so I was better like even in my job, in my relationships. I have very different, you know, approach to everything, more focus, more energy. I started learning, uni work, all of those. It just improved. It's a like spiral. And, you know, I started going to the mall and try clothes on and having fun instead of having a mental breakdown every single time I tried things on, because it's just, now it just gets to be fun. So the point is, you start small, you build, and you keep on, you know, tweaking and progressing and, you know, trying to increase and improve. And then one day you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, that's what I've been working on for the past 3 months, and I can finally see like, yeah, that's exactly where I want it to be. Maybe it's gonna take you longer, so what? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you should be glad that it takes time to lose fat, because that means that it takes time to gain it back. Like, basically, this is how I do it. Like, the faster you lose weight, the faster you're gonna gain it back. So the slower, the easier it's gonna be to not gain it back. And again, I know that this is important for you because it is important for me and for all of my clients to not gain the weight back. Like, I remember every single time, you know, I tell them, I talk them through, you know, the process and what I do, and they're gonna be like, and then I always ask them, what's like, what resonated or why it makes the most sense to you? And they're always going to tell me, because you're talking about not gaining the weight back. And that's something that I've been yo-yo dieting for X amount of years, and I'm tired. I want it to be the last program. And I'm like, you come to the right place. So if you've tried 100 times, as I said, every January, every whenever, before like the summer body thing or back to school, and you're tired of starting over and you're tired of quitting, well, this is your moment to do it the right way. This is what I do for my clients. Personalized workout plans, personalized meal plan. We tweak everything to make sure that it fits their lifestyle, even their mindset. We improve everything. The goal is 1% better. Don't overhaul everything. Make it manageable so you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm just gonna give my all for 12 weeks and then I'm gonna be exhausted and stop and go back to my old lifestyle. No, we don't do that. We do not do that here. We make sure that everything is seamlessly, easily applicable in your lifestyle, regardless of who you are. So if you're ready to lose 10, 20, 30, if not more pounds without making your life a nightmare, without being miserable, just book a free call with me below, just to see if and how I can help you. And, you know, if I can, I'll lend a hand, and I'm always happy to do so. Life is too short to be uncomfortable in your own skin. It just sucks, and I've been there, so that's why I'm so passionate about that now. Anyways, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Mon compagnon et moi, nous avons trop de poids. 10 kilos en trop pour lui et 6 kilos en trop pour moi. Alors là, c'est extraordinaire. En 3 mois, mon compagnon a perdu 8 kilos. Moi, j'en ai perdu 5. Mon compagnon, la mi-juin, est à moins 10 kilos et moi à moins 6. Elle est extraordinaire dans sa manière de nous avoir amenés à intégrer ces nouvelles habitudes saines. Et tout ça avec beaucoup de délicatesse. Et ses conseils ont été très individualisés. Elle nous a toujours encouragés, très très compétente. Vraiment, on peut lui faire confiance. Merci à elle en tout cas pour tout ce qu'elle nous a apporté.